When it comes to playing Fire Emblem, I'm what you would call a disgusting casual. I normally only play on the normal/casual modes, but on the few times I make the leap to a casual playthrough, even if the most undesirable unit were to die, I reset. I'm looking at you, Azama. You're the worst specifically. But today, that is all going to change, for I am playing Fire Emblem Fates on Lunatic Classic difficulty, alright? You see this? Just diving straight into the deep end with this one. Now, without further ado, let's get into the game, shall we? We'll start by creating our avatar, Corin, and since I'm just such a vanilla guy, I just like the basic... I just want to leave the default customization options. I've been speaking into the microphone incorrectly this entire time. We'll make his birthday Ch1-Ch2, the day this run started, so yay, happy birthday. We'll select the strong boon to increase our physical strength while selecting the unlucky bane to lower our luck, which only really determines if we get crit by enemies or not, but luck does affect a few different stats, but it's not like a serious thing to worry about, so we're just gonna move on. We'll select Oni Savage as our talent, as it will be a mystery tool we will use for later. Just keep it in mind, don't forget. So after watching a girl with blue hair drown herself for some reason, we are thrusted directly into the middle of battle between the warring nations of Hoshido and Nor. Corrin somehow misses this fighter unit despite having a 100% hit rate, but it's fine because our next turn we double him. So, what are you gonna do? Then out of nowhere, a Norian Lancer shows up, but it's fine, because Takumi helps us soften him up, and then Corrin goes in for the final blow. He takes him out, right out for you. Oh, but just kidding, it was just a dream, definitely not a premonition of events to come! In order to get us out of bed, our maids Flora and Felicia put their cold, anemic hands on our face, which I believe should be punishable by death. But we gotta get up in order to train with our big brother Xander, because today is the day that King Garen decides if we are able to leave the Northern Fortress or not. Yippee! In fighting Xander, we earn our first level up, yippee! And also learn about Dragon Veins. Yippee! We're then introduced to our other lovely siblings, Leo, Elise, and Camilla. She's technically what now? We're informed that King Garen has finally allowed us to escape the fortress and that we are to head to Castle Krakenberg ASAP. Now with a name like that, how could we possibly be the villain? On our way out of the fortress, we run into Lilith, a stable hand who will be joining us in order to watch our horses as we head in to see King Garen. Camilla drops some not-so-discreet character building about how Corrin once saved a baby bird from the brink of death, and then Lilith gets super flustered by that. Well, I'm sure whatever it isn't important. Felicia and our knight Gunther accompany us, while Flora and our butler Jacob will stay behind to tend to the fortress while we're gone. Although, to my knowledge, Corrin, beside his retainers, are the only ones at this fortress, so why he needs 2 maids and a butler is beyond me. Anyway, with Lilith, Felicia, Gunther, and our siblings in tow, we are finally on our way to Castle Krakenberg, which is located in the capital city, Windmire. This castle, by the way, is located directly in the middle of a hole in the ground for some reason. I'm sure it provides some sort of tactical advantage, but if anything breaks through those walls, I don't know what's stopping them from just lobbing down bombs from above. We now meet with King Garen, who totally is not evil. He gifts us with a Ganglari. Hey, that's the name of this chapter! And orders us to defeat the Hoshidan prisoners that were recently captured. While this may be a tall order for just Corrin, luckily, Felicia and Gunther are here to provide backup. The prisoners introduce themselves as Kaze and Rinka, but Kaze seems to be thrown off once he learns of our name. Now that we're finally into our first real battle, let's go over our units and see what we're working with. We'll start with our main unit and lord, Corrin. Starting at level 2, Corrin is a Nor Prince, which thanks to our boon choice at the start has pretty good strength and defense. but lacks in magic and resistance, which totally isn't an issue on this map as all enemies use physical weapons. His skills are supportive, which boosts the lead unit of a pair-up's hit rate by 10 and damage dealt by 2, while reducing damage taken by 2. This only applies if Corrin has at least a C rank support with the lead unit, so it isn't very helpful for this map. I'll get into pair-up and supports farther down the line. Corrin's second skill, Nobility, just grants him a times 1.2 boost to experience gain, which isn't too bad. Onto Felicia. She's a level 1 maid, and while she has low strength and defense, she more than makes up for it with her supportive capabilities. With her staves, it's possible for her to heal banged up units, and she can even debuff enemies using her Iron Dagger. She goes even further with her support with her skills Devoted Partner and Demoiselle. Devoted Partner boosts Corrin's damage by 2 as well as reducing his damage taken by 2 if he's the lead unit in a pair-up between the two. And her other skill, Demoiselle, reduces incoming damage by 2 to all male units within 2 tiles of her. She's a great partner to Corrin, as if they're paired together while in attack stance and Corrin is the lead unit, Corrin would deal plus 2 damage while having an impressive -4 damage reduction. Her other skill, Resistance plus 2, however, isn't really doing us any favors currently. Which leads us finally onto Gunter. Gunter is super strong as he is already in a promoted class, and he boasts high strength and defense stats and will effectively one-shot most enemy units. However, in Lunatic mode, even the strongest of units will go down if you're careless. Besides, we don't really want Gunter to be attacking enemies, as he'll just be soaking up valuable EXP that Corrin or Felicia much rather have. As such, his main role for now is just to back up Corrin and to act as a wall to defend against attacks from behind. Let's take a look at his skills, which are not great in this chapter. As a level 3 Great Knight, Gunter has the skills Shelter and Elbow Room. Shelter allows a unit to shelter another unit by forcing them into a pair-up where Gunter would be the lead. While this would be helpful in later chapters to provide defense to units who may be in a dire situation, the pair-up mechanic hasn't even been introduced yet, so we can't use Shelter, effectively making this a useless skill at this point. Elbow Room grants the unit with a +3 bonus to damage when not under the effect of a terrain tile, but like I said, Gunter will one-shot most enemies anyway, and we don't really want him stealing EXP from Corrin and Felicia. Although these first 2 skills aren't very helpful, Gunter does have Forceful Partner as a personal skill, which boosts Corrin's hit rate by 15 and his damage dealt by 3, so not a terrible skill to have. Now with the power of the Ganglari and favoritism on his side, he goes on to put these prisoners in their place.
How could this happen?
So yeah, he dies almost immediately, and I am left to wonder how I am supposed to do this as such a simple-minded person. Due to being a sword wielder, Corrin is weak to Kaze's shurikens, which also debuffs just like Felicia's daggers. On top of that, due to Kaze's speed stat of 14, which is insane at this point in the game, he easily doubles us, and then due to our weakened state from the shurikens, the samurai come in and finish us off. Okay, so simple. Just keep Corrin away from Kaze as much as humanly possible. Got it. This time we'll just make sure Corrin stays on the left, while Kaze stays on the right, dealing with our wall Gunter. Okay, so this time you let both Felicia and Gunter be killed, therefore letting Kaze come in and slaughtering Corrin. Don't do that. Alright, new strategy. Go completely to the left to avoid being pincered from both sides. Did he even need Kaze for that one? So Rinka and this samurai have a throwing club and a kodachi, which are both 1-2 weapons, meaning they can attack adjacent enemies while also being able to attack enemies from 2 tiles away. The only unit who can counter this is Felicia, who also has a 1-2 range on her daggers. With her daggers, she has an advantage against swords, which is good against the kodachi, but if you send her out to tank, she's just going to be mauled by the Oni Savage as well as Rinka, so that's not an option. So, what do we do? I can tell you the answer is not going all the way to the left again. Also, stop leaving Corrin open to be killed by Kaze. But, with proper positioning and timing, as well as Gunter taking one for the team, and a lucky miss. Holy, oh my god! We win the day! Garen orders us to finish off the prisoners, but since we're just such a nice guy, we refuse. Leo has no issue dispatching the prisoners though, so oh well. Leo just knocked out the prisoners in order to satisfy King Garen, and then we later released them into the wild. So what all have we learned? 1. Positioning is everything! Whether it's to block off enemy units, or to set up defensive positions, or to benefit from terrain tiles and unit skills, that's what will make the difference between life and death. And 2, I don't want to hear that your favorite maid died because you didn't know Rinka had a throwing club. And 3, sometimes sacrifices must be made. But not Gunter, he's fine, he just needs his nap. Well, that'll do it for this time. Go.